Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to River Ridge High School in Woodstock, Georgia, where the Cass Colonels have traveled today to take on the River Ridge Knights in the first game of a three-game series in 7 Quad A South. River Ridge in with a 4-11 mark on the year, but they are 3-3 in region play, and one of the front runners as we move toward the region playoffs. Cass enters today's game with an 11-6 record on the year. They are 4-2 in region play. We'll take our first time out of the evening, and we'll be back with more pregame information on tonight's game right after these messages.
It's how you do. And this is how we do.
Back at River Ridge High School, where today the Colonels have traveled to Woodstock, Georgia to take on the Knights of River Ridge High School in the first game of a three-game series between these two. It's the third three-game series of the year for each of these teams. Cass has gone 2-1 in each of their first two series. They went 2-1 against Gilmer and then 2-1 against Pickens last week. River Ridge had the week off last week. A week earlier, they swept Cedartown, and they have won they won 2 out of 3 against Cedartown, and they won 1 of 3 against Gilmer. So they are 3-3 in region play as they enter this contest. You see the Knights out on the field taking their pregame infield, and they are clearing the field now, so the Colonels will be taking the field here shortly. We'll take just a moment to talk about our upcoming schedule on Play On. You see that we'll have Game 2 of this series tomorrow night at Cass, and Game 3 will be back here at River Ridge. Both of those games are scheduled for 5:55 starts. Then next week, the Colonels will be traveling to Cedartown on Tuesday and Friday. That's the 16th and 19th, and they will have a home game against Cedartown on the 18th. And hopefully, if the Colonels play well these next 2 weeks, these next 6 games, they will be involved in the 7 Quad A playoff series that will begin on the 24th and conclude on the 25th of April. So that's coming up 2 weeks from this week as we wind down the regular season in 7 Quad A. So there's a look at the Play On schedule and the Cass schedule as well, and there is a possibility we'll be adding some of those games that are not on the Play On schedule. We'll take that as it comes along, and we'll have to review each of those situations as they come up, but we would like to add those games, and hopefully we'll be able to do that. We want to thank our sponsors for being a part of each of these broadcasts, the local Pepsi distributor, and Mr. Howell, who has launched this project for us. Pepsi's Mountain Dew products are the anchor sponsor for the 2013 season. Their Kickstart and Mountain Dew products. And also we want to thank our sponsors WYXC Radio and Liberty Tax Service for being a part of these broadcasts. We want to take a quick time out. We'll be back to talk more about today's game right after this.
Now when the sun come up, I'll be there to say what up in the morning. Perfectly a beast, so I move along a bit higher. I'll be up and away, 'cause they gon' judge me anyway, so whatever. I'll be up and away.
Crack open a can of new Kickstart by Mountain Dew. The perfect mix of dew, real fruit juice, and just the right amount of kick. Kickstart your day.
The Cass Colonels have taken the field to take their infield for today's game. And we want to remind you how you and your business can be a part of these broadcasts. We only have a few regular season games remaining, but to get you going with that, you can place your ad in these broadcasts for as little as $25 for the remainder of the regular season. And then there will be a special discount for playoff ads should the Colonels advance into the playoffs, and we hope that they will. So you would have a heads up and a foot up, so to speak, in getting your ads placed in those playoff broadcasts as well. So all you have to do is give me a call at the school. You see the number there, 606-5845, or send me an email at the address that's shown there, cwilson@bartow.k12.ga.us. And we would be glad to talk to you about how you can get your ad produced and get it on these broadcasts for the remainder of the regular season and then on into the playoffs as well. This is a project that will continue next school year. We'll be doing football games and basketball games, so it's a great way to get your program or your business recognized within the program as the Colonels will continue to do these broadcasts across the other sports as well. We'll take another brief timeout, and we'll be back with some more pregame information right after this. Pregame infield, and we want to remind you that you can follow the Colonels lots of ways, and including on social media. The Colonels are on Facebook at Cass High School Baseball, and their Twitter handle is at Cass Baseball, so lots of ways to follow the Colonels through social media. You also see their CassBaseball.net website that's listed there, so you can follow the Colonels all season long on social media. Colonels getting ready to take on the River Ridge Knights in a crucial 7 Quad A South baseball series. The playoffs just looming around the corner, so both of these teams still definitely in the playoff hunt. As we take a look at some of the details that are headed that way, we want to take a glance at the region standings. You see there that in 7 Quad A South, Cedartown, who is idle this week in sub-region play, leads the way at 6-3 in a virtual tie with the Colonels. Cass could actually take over first place by a half game with a victory tonight. They are 4-2 and 11-6 on the season. That should read River Ridge. Was not edited out properly. River Ridge is actually the third team there at 3-3, followed by Gilmer at 4-5 and Pickens at 1-5. On the other side of the region, the north half, Northwest Whitfield and Dalton will be going head-to-head this week. They begin a 3-game series tonight, so it's a head-to-head battle to take over the lead in 7 Quad A North. Heritage follows in third place, followed by Lafayette, Southeast Whitfield, and the Colonels will host the Knights in Game 2 of this series tomorrow at Cass High School. Let's look quickly at the lineups, how the Colonels will line up defensively. Let's get that up on the screen. And there you go. The Colonels will send Dylan Williams to the mound tonight to face River Ridge, two of the top pitchers in this league going head-to-head tonight. Jackson Weig, who's been very good for River Ridge, will take the mound for the Knights, and Dylan Williams, who's been very good for the Colonels, will take the mound for Cass tonight. You see how the Colonels will line up: Hunter Bennett, Brandon Etheridge, and Chris Morton across the outfield. In the infield, it will be Alex Yoslin at first, Matt Brown at second base, Sam Ayers at short, Hunter Southern will be at third base. The shortstop hitting in the cleanup spot will be Will Redding. Hitting fifth will be the first baseman, Elijah Bragg. In the sixth spot in the order will be the second baseman, Ian Andrews. Batting seventh will be the designated hitter. That is Tyler Thigpen. In the eighth spot will be the catcher, Zach Cable. And in the nine, coaches and umpires still meeting at home plate. Pregame for this one. The Cass lineup is being introduced, so we'll take that opportunity to share that lineup with you as well. Cass, the visiting team here today at River Ridge. Brandon Etheridge will lead things off. He's hitting .404 on the year and leads the team with 12 stolen bases. Sam Ayers will hit in the second spot, the shortstop. He is also hitting .404 with 13 RBI. Chaz Wilson is the catcher. He has 24 RBI on the season. Dylan Williams will be in the cleanup spot and on the mound today. He's hitting .370 for the year with 10 RBI. Sam Russell will be the designated hitter, hitting .327 with 11 RBI. He will hit for the second baseman, Matt Brown. Alex Yoslin will be at first base. Hunter Southern will be out at third base. He scored 6 runs on the year for the Colonels. Hunter Bennett will be in left field with 9 runs scored on the year. And Chris Morton with a .414 on base percentage and 13 runs scored on the year will be in the 9 hole and will be manning right field for Coach Adam Williams and the Cass Colonels. So there's your batting order for the Colonels. A long meeting taking place at home plate, so we've got just a few minutes here. And again, we want to thank our anchor sponsor for the 2013 Cass baseball broadcast, Mountain Dew, and their Kickstart product, as well as all Mountain Dew and Pepsi products, helping to bring these broadcasts for you on Play on Sports and the GHSA.TV portal. So we'll take just a second now to take a look ahead at what the GHSA 7 Quad A playoff format looks like. You'll see that the 2 regular season sub-region champions will square off for a region championship series. So the winners of each of the sub-regions will play one another, with the winner of that 2 out of 3 series being the region champion and the loser being the region runner-up. Those 2 teams will host state playoff series in the first round of the state playoffs in Class Quad A. To determine the number 3 and 4 seeds for the state playoffs, the third-place team from each sub-region will play the second-place team from each sub-region in a best-of-3 series, with a tiebreaker then used to determine which of the winners will be the 3 seed and which will be the 4 seed. So that's a look at the 7 Quad A region playoff format that's coming up week after next. But we've got a lot of baseball between now and then, 6 region games for the Colonels to determine whether or not they even make that playoff format. Right now they're in pretty good shape, but they've got to continue playing good baseball going down the stretch here to have an opportunity to participate in those playoffs. The teams have been introduced. They're lining up out on the field, and we're going to take a timeout, and we'll be back with some baseball right after these messages.
Now when the sun come up, I'll be there to say what up in the morning. Perfectly at peace, so I move along a bit higher. I'll be up a bit away, cause they gon' judge me anyway. So whatever, I'll be up a bit
Crack open a can of new Kickstart by Mountain Dew. The perfect mix of dew, real fruit juice, and just the right amount of kick. Kickstart your day.
Back at River Ridge High School, where the Colonels are getting set to take on the River Ridge Knights in a 7-quad A game 1 of a 3-game series between these two clubs. The Colonels in at 11-6 on the year, 4-2 in 7-quad A South. River Ridge with only a 4-11 mark overall, but they are 3-3 in region play. So they have played well in region contests. So. And actually took a 2 out of 3 series with Cedartown, who is in a virtual tie with the Colonels for the lead in the South Subregion standings. So this looks to be a good one, and 2 of the better pitchers in join us for Cass Baseball on Play on Sports. First pitch from Jackson Weig is fouled away by Brandon Etheridge over the Cass dugout. So right away, a foul ball, and we are underway. We'll not try to keep the count for you on the screen since I'm doing this alone, so we'll try to update you verbally with the count pretty regularly. So please bear with us. Count's gone to 1-1 to Brandon Etheridge, leading things off here for the Colonels. And the 1-1 pitch is popped up to the left side. Shortstop Will Redding is over there, and he makes the catch for out number 1. So Redding back. Next pitch to Ayers is dribbled down the first base line. It squirms back in fair territory and is fielded by Weig. 28 for 56 through the first 17 games. And he looks at a high strike. So as we mentioned, Weig has been the ace of this staff. The left-hander looks in, takes his sign, winds and delivers, and threw a curveball that's in there for strike number 2. So Wilson in an 0-2 hole here. Digs back in, and the 0-2 pitch from Weig is hit hard out towards second base. One hop fielded out there by the second baseman Andrews, who throws on to Bragg for game 1 of a 3-game series between these two. Dylan Williams out taking his warm-up tosses for the Colonels as we are ready to move now to the bottom of the first. And I apologize for the graphic there. As I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, folks, you're going to have to bear with me. I'm a little short-handed staff-wise with this telecast, so we'll do the best we can. Chaz Wilson, who made the third out of the inning, is just now making his way to home plate to catch the final warm-up toss or 2 from Cass pitcher Dylan Williams. So he'll take a warm-up toss or 2, and then he will throw it down. The Colonels will throw it around the infield And the Knights will send Martin, Wilkin, and Cable to the plate to face the big Cass senior right-hander. So leading things off for the Knights is Dalton Martin, playing right field today. Knights in their all-white uniforms, navy piping, a little gold trim. The Colonels in their royal blue tops with white trim, wearing their camo hats today. First pitch from Williams, missed high for a ball. And the next one is in there for a called strike at the knees. So a 1-1 count to the leadoff hitter for the Knights, right fielder Dalton Martin. Steps back in, hits a line drive out toward right field, but Chris Morton is underneath it for out number one. So that ball was hit pretty sharply, but right at the Cass right fielder for the first out of the bottom of the first. That brings up Zach Wilkin, the left fielder, wearing number 29, right-handed hitter. Climbs in the box to face Dylan Williams. First pitch, just missed low. Of 7 Quad A South going head-to-head today. Dylan Williams of the Colonels, Jackson Weig of the Knights. So a really important game here for the Colonels and for the Knights. Next one is fouled away at the plate. So the count remains 1-2. Back at River Ridge High School, we're about to move to the top of the second inning. Still no score. Both teams went in order in the first inning. As a couple of aces here, the Colonels' Dylan Williams and River Ridge sends Jackson Weig, their ace, to the mound today in this game one of a 3-game series between the Colonels and the Knights. Dylan Williams, the pitcher for the Colonels, will lead off the second, hitting in the 4 spot today. Sam Russell will come to the plate. First pitch to Russell is a check swing that he fouled off. Russell hitting .327 on the year with 11 RBI. 1 out in the inning. Neither team has had a base runner yet. We're in the top of the second. Curveball fouled away at the plate. By the second baseman Andrews, long throw over to first, and they can't get him. So it'll be an infield hit for Sam Russell. So a pretty good play there made by Andrews to backhand that ball, but then he couldn't get enough on the throw to throw out Russell. And he stands at first with our first hit of the game. And that brings up the Colonels' first baseman today, Alex Yoslin. Yoslin, who plays some first, some outfield, and is the designated hitter when Sam Russell is catching. They throw over to first to check on Russell, but he's back easily. Huge advantage left-handed pitchers have looking at that runner at first, and he got him picked off. Caught him leaning. So as I was mentioning, it's just a huge advantage as a left-handed pitcher. You're looking right at that runner, and he catches Sam Russell taking one more stride in a lead, and just like that, that base runner is erased, and it's out number 2. First pitch to Yoslin is a strike. And the next one is fouled off at the plate and got a piece of our catcher, Zach Cable. So the umpire will give him a second, go out and take a look at a baseball or maybe sweep off the plate. Take a little time, just a baseball courtesy.
Now when the sun come up, I'll be there to say what up in the morning. Perfectly at peace, so I move along a bit higher. I'll be up a bit away, cause they gon' judge me anyway. So whatever, I'll be up a bit away.
Crack open a can of new Kickstart by Mountain Dew. The perfect mix of dew, real fruit juice, and just the right amount of kick. Kickstart your day.
Back at River Ridge High School, where Cass is taking on the River Ridge Knights. We move to the bottom of the second. Still no score in this one between the Colonels and the Knights. This is game one of a 3-game series between these two this week. Game 2 will be tomorrow. We'll have that one for you on Play on Sports beginning at 5:35 for a 5:55 first pitch. Cass and River Ridge in game 2. Game 3 is scheduled to be here on Friday back at River Ridge. We hope you'll come out and support the Colonels in these games. If you can't be here in person, then by all means you are more than welcome to join us here for these play-on broadcasts. Four, 5, and 6 hitters due up for River Ridge here in the bottom of the second. Will Redding, the shortstop, will lead things off, followed by Elijah Bragg, the first baseman. And then the second baseman, Ian Andrews, will hit third in the inning.
Shortstop, number 21, Will Redding.
Dylan Williams fires a strike at the knees on the first pitch to Redding. Working quickly, his next pitch is to bunt, and they're going to ask for help, and they say no, he did not go. So Bragg will dig back in there, left-handed hitter, and the runner, Redding, takes his lead from first. Next pitch is a fastball that missed low. So nobody out in the inning. River Ridge with their first base runner of the contest down at first. And Williams takes a step back off the rubber. Wasn't happy with something there. So he'll step back on and take the assign and deliver a 2-0 pitch that's bunted up the third baseline and will roll foul. Back to the screen. And the pitch I was waiting to see the call, it was called a ball inside. So the runner moves up to second. So the runner takes his lead at second. That's Redding. And now we have a 2-2 pitch, or 3-2 pitch coming up. Squares and bunts it out to Williams again. Brown is over there to cover, and he can't get there in time, and the throw sails over his glove into right field. And the error will lead to the first River Ridge run of the game. Andrews. And we're having a little scoring issue here, so we'll try to get that straightened out for you. Next pitch is bunted out in front of the plate again. Yoslin fields it, throws to first, and that one is missed by Brown. And another run is going to score.
58, Tyler Thigpen.
Next one bounces up there and will roll to the screen, so the runner's able to move up on the play. So we're trying to get things caught up for you here, folks. Again, I apologize. We're working a little short-handed here. We'll get things caught up for you on the screen in just a second. Next pitch from Williams, misses high. So our count has gone to 3-0 according to our scoreboard. We do now have a runner at second, and River Ridge has gone up 2-0. We apologize for our scoreboard, our graphics. We're trying to keep everything going for you here. Next pitch from Williams is in there for a strike. So now a 3-1 count with a runner down at second, and River Ridge has taken a 2-0 lead. They square to bunt again, take it high for ball 4. So River Ridge exposing the Colonels a bit here defensively as they've made a couple of errors in the inning. And Coach Kyle Clayton will go out to have a talk with his pitcher and the infield. The catcher, Zach Cable, is due up next for the Knights. Squared to bunt again. So River Ridge is obviously going to continue to bunt until the Colonels show they can play it defensively. Squares again, and a curveball stayed inside for a ball. They've already scored 2 runs on just 1 hit and a couple of cast errors. Now we're going to get a courtesy runner down at first base. That's number 4.
Bring to the plate center fielder, number 10, Zach Lovelace.
Hardaway will be the courtesy runner. And now the bases are loaded, and still nobody out in the inning. So it's been a rough situation here for the Colonels, and they will bring the infielders in on the grass with nobody out, 2 runs in, and the bases loaded. This is the number 9 hitter, Zach Lovelace, and the first pitch missed for a ball. 2-0 pitch is right in there for a called strike. So now there's 1 out in the inning, but you're back to the top of the order, and Dalton Martin, the right fielder. River Ridge has taken a 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the second on a couple of hits and a couple of cast errors. They still have the bases loaded with 1 out. Curveball is in there for a strike. Williams takes his sign and throws another breaking pitch that stayed high. Colonels trying to escape this inning without any further damage, facing the River Ridge ace, Jackson Weig, who has been very good this season in region games. Next pitch is hit on the ground out toward Ayers at short. He fields, throws across to first for the second out of the inning. That was his only play, but a run does score. So we'll have runners at second and third now with 2 outs in the inning. And it'll bring up the number 2 hitter, Wilkin, the left fielder.
2 outs, break up. Left fielder, number 29, Zach Wilkin.
Zach Wilkin struck out looking his first time. Squares as if to bunt, but takes it high for a ball. River Ridge has taken a 3-0 lead here in the second inning. And that pitch hit him on the arm. So now with 2 outs, the bases are back full again. And it brings up John Cable, the 3-hitter and third baseman for the Knights. Pitch from Williams. Missed outside for ball 1. Wilson held it there. He thought he had a strike. Next pitch from Dylan Williams. Fastball about letter high, and Cable swung right through it. So the Knights have taken a 3-0 lead, and a big spot here. Cable hits a little pop-up out toward shortstop. Sam Ayers has it for the third out, and the Colonels avoid further damage. So we've played 2 complete innings from River Ridge High School, where the Knights lead the Colonels after 2 complete by a score of 3-0. Back at River Ridge High School, where the Knights have taken a 3-0 lead over the Colonels. Cass helped them there with a couple of errors in the inning. River Ridge with a couple of hits, but they played 3 runs, and they've taken a 3-0 lead here against Cass as we move to the top of the third inning. Cass will send the bottom third of their order, Hunter Southern, Hunter Bennett, and Chris Morton to the plate to face Jackson Weig here in the third. Only hit of the contest for the Colonels was back in the second inning, a ground ball single by Sam Russell back through the middle. First pitch to Southern is a called strike at the knees. Next one misses up and in. Again, we apologize. We can't keep the count on there for you and having a tough time keeping up with everything else. So we're working alone in this one on the panel. So we're trying to keep your graphics updated for you as we go along. So please bear with us. My assistant is on her way, and we will get everything going for you shortly. We're in the top of the third with the Colonels trailing 3-0. Next pitch misses down and in. River Ridge with 3 runs in the bottom of the second. Next one to Southern. Misses up and away, so there's ball 4, and he'll trot down to first base. And that will bring up Hunter Bennett, the left fielder. Throws over to first, chase back Sunderd. He's already picked off one runner in this one. There you go. Southern taking his lead down at first. And the first pitch is very high. Bennett tried to bunt it anyway and fouled it away at the plate. So the trick there in the bunting situation is to only bunt the strikes. Bennett chased that one. It was high, but fouled it off. Chris Morton, the Cass right fielder, waits on deck. Throw over to first. Chris Morton, the Cass right fielder. Morton digs in, and they throw over to first again. Threw it in the dirt, but it doesn't get very far away from the first baseman, Bragg. So no damage done there as Southern dives back in. Left-handed pitcher Weig gets to stare down the base runner. Morton squares to bunt and fouls it back over the screen. So River Ridge effectively used the bunt in the bottom of the second, forced the Colonels into a couple of fielding mistakes, added a couple of hits with it, and plated 3 runs. Cass trying a little of that themselves here. Morton pops it up over the first base bag out into right field. Hunter Southern had to wait to see if it was going to fall. Got a bad read on it, but makes it safely to second. And Morton's in with a hit. So the little pop fly out toward right field results in a single. And Morton is on at first with the second Cass hit of the game. That'll bring up the top of the order for the Colonels, Brandon Etheridge. So Etheridge digs in. And the first pitch from Weig is lined out towards center field, but it's right at Lovelace for out number 2. So again, hard hit, but right at the center fielder. So there's 2 outs in the inning. And that brings up Sam Ayers. Ayers grounded out to the pitcher his first time. So Southern takes his lead down at second. Morton takes the lead at first. And Weig is going to throw behind Morton, and he's got him picked off, got him in a rundown. He's going to slide in safely at second, though, so it ends up being a couple of stolen bases on the pickoff attempt. And now we've got some kind of question. Got some kind of question from the umpire to the base umpire to the home plate umpire, but apparently nothing's going to change there. So without a pitch, we've got a couple of stolen bases here. So runners now at second and third. They played behind the runner at Morton at first, and when he took his lead, then Bragg snuck in behind him. They threw over behind Morton, but then when Morton took off towards second, the middle infielders didn't get to the bag in time, and he made it safely. Meanwhile, Southern moved up to third. Next pitch is hit hard on a line by Ayers, but again, right at the center fielder for out number 3. So that was 2 really well-hit balls in the inning by the Colonels, but right at the center fielder, Zach. Dylan Williams returns to the mound for the Colonels here in the bottom of the third. Again, we apologize. We'll get that switched out for you here. You see River Ridge leading it by a score of 3-0. Both teams now with 2 hits, but the Colonels made a couple of errors in the bottom of the second that helped contribute to the 3-0 lead that the Knights have over the Colonels as they come to the plate here in the bottom half of the third inning. Glad you could join us for Cass Baseball, presented by Mountain Dew. Will Redding, the shortstop, will lead things off for the Knights here in the third. He'll be followed by Elijah Bragg and Ian Andrews. First pitch from Dylan Williams is a breaking ball that's in there for a strike. To the number 4 hitter in the order for the Knights, Will Redding, playing shortstop. Curveball bounced. Wilson can't find it as it rolls to the screen over here near our broadcast position. So the count has gone to 1-2 as Redding digs back in. Ball number 1. Bragg reached on an error his first time. A little bunt play that Dylan Williams fielded and then threw up over the head of everyone over at first. He throws over to first on this one to chase back Redding, who slides back in. So nobody out in the inning and a runner at first for the Knights here in the third. Bunts out toward the mound. Williams fields it, throws to first in time to retire Bragg. But it does move the runner up 90 feet. So Redding stands at second now with 1 out in the inning. So a sacrifice bunt by Bragg brings up Ian Andrews now with a runner in scoring position. Andrews also reached on an error as they bunted twice and got back-to-back errors back in the second inning, and that led to that big 3-run inning for the Knights. First pitch missed inside for a ball. So 1 out now in the inning and a runner at second. So we try to get your graphics updated there. And the count, meanwhile, to the hitter Andrews has gone to 1-1. Dylan Williams working from the stretch. Runner takes off and he's got him picked and he's out at third. So the runner broke way too early, and Dylan Williams just stepped back off the mound and throws out Redding, who's trying to steal third. And that's the second out in the inning. So That retires that base runner. And now Andrews will hit with 2 outs in the inning. And the 1-1 pitch is a curveball that they say missed again. The 2-1 pitch from Williams is fouled back over the screen. So the count has gone to 2-2. To the River Ridge second baseman. Williams from the windup now. Throws a fastball, popped up in the air. Sam Ayers, the shortstop, is underneath it, has it, and that will be the 3rd out of the 3rd inning. So we've played 3 complete innings now from River Ridge High School in this first game of a 3-game set. And the Knights lead the Colonels as we move to the 4th inning by a score of 3-0.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you got anything from me, it's to find your thing and do you. Because we all know it's not what you do, it's how you do. And this is how we do.
Back at River Ridge High School, where the River Ridge Knights are leading the Cass Colonels by a score of 3-0 as we move to the top half of the 4th inning. River Ridge with 3 runs in the bottom of the 2nd inning to take that lead. Jackson Weig has been pretty good for the Knights. He's been their ace all year long and has been tough in region play, as we talked about earlier. He's back out on the mound for this top of the 4th inning. Cass will send their 3, 4, and 5 hitters to the plate. That's catcher Chaz Wilson, pitcher Dylan Williams, and the designated hitter, Sam Russell. So a final warm-up toss from Weig. And the infield has a little meeting at the mound, and Chaz Wilson will step in to face Weig here in the 4th. Cass Baseball presented by Mountain Dew. First pitch by Wilson, hit hard, but right at the 3rd baseman, who throws across for the 1st out of the inning. So 1 pitch and 1 out here in the 4th. Brings up Dylan Williams, the Colonel's pitcher. Weig, the left-hander, delivers a curveball that's fouled down the 3rd base side past the Cass dugout, foul. These two teams will play again tomorrow at Cass in Game 2 of this series. Game 3 is scheduled to be back here at River Ridge on Friday. Williams steps back in, and a fastball is hit up in the air out toward right field. A little blooping pop-up. Right fielder Dalton Martin comes in running, calls off Ian Andrews, and makes the catch for out number 2. So quickly, 2 are out here in the Colonel half of the 4th as the designated hitter, Sam Russell, will step to the plate. Fastball missed high and went right through the catcher all the way to the screen. We're at River Ridge High School in Woodstock, Georgia for 7 Quad A South baseball, game 1 of a 3-game series between the Colonels and the River Ridge Knights. Next pitch to Russell, misses low. So the count is at 2-0 as the Cass DH steps back in. Wig takes his signs, working from the windup. The left-hander delivers a fastball down the middle that's hit up in the air. Out to Zach Lovelace in center field, who's been busy today, and he makes the catch for out number 3. So the Colonels go quickly in their half of the 4th and fail to score, and will move to the bottom half of the 4th inning with River Ridge leading the Colonels 3-0. Out. Back at River Ridge High School, where the Knights are leading the Colonels 3-0 as we move to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Jackson Weig, the ace of the River Ridge staff, who has been very good in these region games, has held the Colonels scoreless through 4 innings, as the Knights will now hit here in their half of the 4th. They'll send up the 7, 8, and 9 hitters, Thigpen, Cable, and Lovelace. Tyler Thigpen steps to the plate. He walked his first trip. First pitch from Williams is called a strike. The next one is fouled off down the first baseline. So the count has gone 0-2. Williams winding and delivers. Curveball that missed down and away. So the count's now at 1-2. To Tyler Thigpen, the designated hitter. Fouls that one off at the plate. So we'll see another 1-2 pitch from Dylan Williams. And it's a curveball that sailed over the head of Thigpen for ball 2. So Williams, who always works quickly, fires a 2-2 pitch that's fouled away by Thigpen back against the screen. Actually over the screen. And the next offering is a fastball that missed low and away. So the count has gone full now to the Knights' designated hitter. River Ridge batting in their half of the 4th. They have a 3-0 lead. Ground ball hit out toward Matt Brown. He fields it, throws over to first in time for the first out of the inning. So 1 out brings up the catcher, Zach Cable. Cable singled, had an infield hit, little slow roller that rolled out to Sam Ayers. He was unable to get anyone on the play. So Cable 1 for 1 with an infield hit. Faces Williams, who bounced a curveball up there. Next pitch from Williams is fouled away at the plate to even the count at 1-1. So this game has moved along pretty quickly, except for that bottom of the second. It's moved very quickly. Fastball from Williams missed low. So the count has gone to 2-1. Zach Lovelace, who's been busy out in center field for the Knights, waits on deck. Next pitch is fouled back to the screen. So a 2-2 pitch is due to Cable. And it's a curveball that he swings at and misses. Wilson hangs on. And there's strike number 3. So now 2 outs in the inning, and it will bring up the center fielder, Zach Lovelace. Lovelace struck out swinging his first trip. But we'll get a pinch hitter instead, it looks like. And it will be Alex G.
2 outs into the ball game, hitting for Lovelace. Number 22, Alex G.
So Alex G will pinch hit here for Lovelace in the 9 spot. Top of the order, Dalton Martin waiting on deck. 2 outs in the inning, no base runners, as River Ridge bats here in their half of the 4th. First pitch to G is a called strike at the knees. Thank you for joining us for Cass Baseball presented by Mountain Dew on Play on Sports and the GHSA.TV portal. Bottom of the 4th inning. River Ridge leading the Colonels 3-0. Couple of balls from Dylan Williams, and the count's gone to 2-1. To pinch hitter Alex G. Williams winds and delivers. Fastball about waist high that G swung at and missed. So a 2-2 pitch upcoming. And G fouled it over to the softball field that's next door. Out of play. Very nice playing facilities here at River Ridge. Williams winds and delivers, and his fastball again is about waist high, but it's fouled away at the plate again. So we'll reset everything and see another 2-2 pitch to pinch hitter Alex G. And it's a breaking pitch that was foul tipped into the glove of Wilson for strike number 3, and that will retire the Knights in their half of the 4th. So we've played 4 complete now from River Ridge High School, where the Knights lead the Colonels 3-0.
Now when the sun come up, I'll be there to say what up in the morning. Perfectly at peace, so I move along a bit higher. I'll be up a bit away, cause they gon' judge me anyway. So whatever, I'll be up a bit away.
Crack open a can of new Kickstart by Mountain Dew. The perfect mix of dew, real fruit juice, and just the right amount of kick. Kickstart your day.
River Ridge leading the Colonels 3-0 as we move to the top half of the 5th inning. Jackson Weig, starting pitcher for the Knights, has been very good. He's limited the Colonels to only 2 hits in this one through 4 innings of play. So Cass will send the 6, 7, and 8 hitters to the plate here in the 5th. Alex Yoslin, Hunter Southern, and Hunter Bennett. Yoslin playing first base in this one tonight. Struck out swinging his first trip. So the left-handed pitching Jackson Weig winds and delivers, and his first pitch to Alex Yoslin misses high for a ball. Plenty of sunshine here. Broken clouds. Second pitch, from Weig misses high. So we'll see a 2-0 pitch to the Cass first baseman. And that one missed high as well. So the count has gone 3-0. Weig had only 41 pitches at this point in the 5th inning. That's a very low pitch count. And he comes back on the 3-0 pitch for a strike over the inside edge. And then Yoslin swings and misses at the 3-1 pitch. So the count is now even, or rather 3-2 full. As Yoslin digs back in. Swings and misses again, so Weig works his way all the way back to strike out Yoslin for out number 1. And that brings up the third baseman, Hunter Southern. Hunter Bennett, the left fielder, is on deck. First pitch misses low. And Weig, who like Dylan Williams of the Colonels, working very quickly, fires a fastball in there for a strike. The 1-1 pitch is fouled away at the plate. So Southern steps out for just a moment, digs back in, and he'll see a 1-2 offering from Weig that he swung at and missed for strike number 3. So with 2 outs in the inning, left fielder Hunter Bennett steps in and hits the first pitch out toward left field. That is bobbled and not caught. Got his glove on it, but was unable to reel it in. So that's in there for a hit. And it's only the 3rd hit of the game for the Colonels. But it does bring up the right fielder, Chris Morton, with a man on. Cass trying to do some 2-out damage here in their half of the 5th. Trailing 3-0. That was Zach Lovelace out in center field that made that diving attempt. He had re-entered in the game after G pinch hit for him in the previous half inning. Bennett chased back to first by Weig, who has a pretty good move, as do most left-handed pitchers. They're able to look straight at the bag. Next pitch. Missed high. So Bennett taking a pretty good lead over there. I suspect Weig's going to throw over there again pretty soon. But not on this one. He missed high again. Two-0 pitch from Weig. They say caught the inside edge for strike number one. So they throw over to first again, and the Knights thought they had him picked off, but the umpire says no, he got back in there. And it was a very good, or a very close play. Good move over there. Now the 2-1 pitch to Morton. Missed low for ball three. So the 3-1 pitch will not be made as Jackson Weig steps back off the rubber. Takes his sign, working from the stretch. Throws a fastball right through there for strike number two. So Weig, who has scattered 3 hits through now 4 2/3 innings, has worked his way back to a 3-2 count. Facing the Cass sophomore right fielder, Chris Morton. Throws over to first again. And Bennett really didn't even have a lead that time. He looked like he was about 1 step off the base. But they throw over thinking that he might leave too early on the 3-2 pitch. And once Weig goes home, he should be moving. And he is, but the pitch misses high for ball 4. And that will bring up Cass leadoff hitter and center fielder Brandon Etheridge with 2 outs. So the 8 and the 9 hitter get on for the Colonels with a single and a walk. 2 outs in the inning, and the top of the order in Brandon Etheridge. Cass batting here in the top of the 5th, trailing by 3. Weig comes set and delivers, and Etheridge fouled it off his leg for strike number 1. Etheridge lined out to center field and flied out to the shortstop. So he's looking for his first hit of the day against Jackson Weig, who steps back off the rubber. Watching Hunter Bennett take his lead down at second. Chris Morton leads from first. And remember, they've been known to throw behind that runner at first. And now this time, Weig steps back off the rubber and wants to have a chat with his catcher, Zach Cable. Not sure if they're worried about Bennett relaying signs to the plate, but I don't believe that was going on. I didn't see anything that would indicate that to me, but maybe there was some confusion on how they want to pitch to Brandon Etheridge. So Etheridge digs back in. And the pitch from Weig is a breaking ball, slow one that's fouled away at the plate back to the screen. So now Weig has an 0-2 count working on Brandon Etheridge. And the two Colonel runners take their leads. And the pitch missed low and away. Pretty good pitch there from Weig, but it was low and outside. So we'll see a 1-2 pitch now to the Cass center fielder. And it's a breaking ball that's popped high in the air out towards center field. And again, Zach Lovelace, who's been extremely busy out there today, makes another catch. And the Colonels will again go quietly here in the 5th inning. So they do pick up a hit. They leave a couple of runners on base. We've now played 4.5, and River Ridge continues to lead the Colonels 3-0. River Ridge leading the Colonels 3-0 as we move to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Dylan Williams, who started this game for the Colonels, returning to the mound here in the 5th frame. Trailing 3-0. Cass contributed to their own demise here so far. They made a couple of errors in the 2nd inning. River Ridge added a couple of hits and put 3 runs on the board in the 2nd frame, and that's been the only scoring in this one, as 2 of the aces of 7 Quad A South have been going head-to-head here today. But so far, Jackson Weig getting the better end of things, leading it 3-0 as they come to the plate in their half of the 5th inning. Both teams with 3 hits, but Cass has committed a couple of errors. River Ridge has not committed an error. They're at the top of their order. Dalton Martin, the right fielder. He's 0 for 2 in this one. He lined out to right field and grounded out to short. Fouls the first one back. So he'll step back in there to face an 0-1 pitch from Williams, who winds and delivers and missed outside. So Martin takes a look at the signs down there at third, then steps back in and takes a strike at the knees. So the Williams fastball catches him looking, and the count has gone to 1-2. And a breaking ball has him swinging and missing for the first out of the inning. So 1 out, and that brings up Zach Wilkin, the left fielder. Wilkin struck out looking in the first inning and then was hit by a pitch in his 2nd at bat. First pitch from Williams misses for a ball. Bottom of the 5th, River Ridge leading Cass 3-0. First game of a 3-game series between these two teams this week. Wilkins bluffed as though he was going to bunt. but took it outside for a ball. And the next one is right through there for a called strike. So Wilkin looks down to his coach for a sign, steps back in, and takes a pitch low for ball 3. John Cable, third baseman, waits on deck. Next pitch is popped back toward the screen and over the screen now. Foul. So the count goes full. So 1 out in the inning. And Williams winds and delivers a high fastball that was swung on and missed by Wilkin for another strikeout. 2 in the inning. 2 outs in the inning. And that brings up Cable. John Cable, the third baseman. He's 0 for 2. Struck out looking and flied out to the shortstop. A little pop-up out there. First pitch from Williams is a breaking ball that Wilson held there for a moment, but the umpire ruled was outside. Next one is hit in the air out toward right field. Chris Morton is under it. Makes the catch, and that is out number 3. So the Knights go pretty quickly in their half of the 5th inning. They fail to score, and we move to the 6th inning now with the Knights leading the Colonels 3-0. Cass Baseball 2013 presented by Mountain Dew, Liberty Tax Service, and WYXC Radio. Today, the River Ridge Knights lead the Colonels 3-0 as we move to the 6th inning. Colonels running out of outs and opportunities here, but they'll send their 2, 3, and 4 hitters to the plate here in the 6th. That's Sam Ayers, Chaz Wilson, and Dylan Williams. So Ayers grounded out and lined out to center. Steps in, looking for his first hit of the day against the left-handed throwing Jackson Weig, who has been very good not only in this game but all year long for the Knights. First pitch is bunted foul by Ayers. So Ayers, who had a 7-game hitting streak coming in, digs back in, hits the ball on the ground out towards short. It's fielded there. Long throw across in time for out number 1. So that brings up Chaz Wilson, the catcher. He grounded out to second and grounded out to third in his first 2 trips. First pitch to Wilson, hit on the ground to third again, fielded over there by Cable. Long throw across. Bragg fields it cleanly. And on just 3 pitches, Jackson Weig has 2 outs. So that'll bring up the pitcher, Dylan Williams, with 2 outs in the inning. Williams grounded out to the first baseman and flied out to right field. The first pitch missed high. They checked to see if Williams swung, and the umpire down the first baseline says no. So Weig winds and delivers a 1-0 pitch that this time Williams does swing at and miss. And the count has gone even at 1-1. Next pitch by Weig is hit out into the outfield and will be in there for a hit. Williams kind of missed it, but missed it in a good spot as he hits the line drive out in over the shortstop's head out into left center field for the Colonel's 4th hit of the game. And we'll get a courtesy runner, Austin Gore, who will come in to run for the pitcher. So Gore will be the courtesy runner down at first for Dylan Williams, who picks up the Colonel's 4th hit of the contest. They've out-hit the Knights 4-3, but they've made a couple of errors that contributed to the 3-run second by the Knights, and that's where we stand, 3-0, as Sam Russell, the designated hitter, steps in to face Jackson Weig, who was the starter and has gone the distance here for the Knights. First pitch to Russell, missed high for a ball. Alex Yoslin waits on deck. He would be next if Russell can reach. Next pitch to Russell, missed high again, so the count has gone to 2-0. So a 2-0 delivery now. Missed outside. And we'll see a 3-0 pitch now to the Cass DH. Gore leads from first, and the pitch to Russell is in there for a strike. So both of these pitchers have worked very quickly. Cass batting here in the 6th. Another throw over to first. Gore's back in. And now a 3-1 delivery is due to Sam Russell, and it's called a strike over the inside corner. Russell thought he had ball 4. So now a 3-2 pitch is coming up. And it missed inside for ball 4. So that'll bring up Alex Yoslin, the Cass first baseman, now with runners at first and second. Weig has allowed 4 hits. That's now 3 walks. He's struck out 3. Yoslin steps in now with runners at first and second. 2 outs in the inning. And the first pitch is right through there for a strike. Weig steps back for just a moment. Now looks in for his sign, working from the stretch. And he missed low for a ball. The River Ridge umpires in the stands wanted that called a strike. So a 1-1 pitch now coming up to the Cass first baseman. And he swings and misses, and they throw it away. They tried to pick off a runner down at first. And now Gore rounds third and is held up. So the catcher tried to throw behind the runner at first, and it got away down the right field line and allows the runners to move up, but Cass unable to score on the play. So Yoslin will step back in to see a 1-2 pitch. And he swings and misses for strike number 3. And the inning is over. So the Colonels failed to score. They did pick up a hit in the inning. There was one River Ridge error. And we'll move to the bottom half of the 6th inning with River Ridge continuing to lead the Colonels by a score of 3-0.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you got anything from me, it's to find your thing and do you. Because we all know it's not what you do, it's how you do. And this is how we do.
Dylan Williams returning back to the mound for the Colonels here in the bottom of the 6th. He's been good. The Colonels committing 2 errors in the 2nd inning. Williams with 7 strikeouts in this one. And River Ridge scored all their runs in that 2nd inning when the Colonels contributed with a couple of errors. There were 2 River Ridge hits in that 1 inning. And the Colonels threw it around a little bit on some bunt plays. And the Knights took a 3-0 lead, and that's where we continue to stand as the Knights hit here in the bottom of the 6th. Cass with 4 hits, River Ridge with 3. But River Ridge leads it where it counts, 3-0. First pitch from Williams, catches the inside corner to the shortstop Redding for strike number 1. Redding is 2 for 2. And swings and misses at that fastball. So the count has gone to 0-2. Redding with a single to center and a single to right. And he hits it on the ground out there to Yoslin, who bobbled it but now picks it up, steps on the bag, and there's 1 out in the inning. So that brings up Elijah Bragg, the Knights' first baseman. 1 out in the inning. The Colonels have their last chance coming up next frame. Bragg squares to bunt, offers, and missed it for strike number 1. We're in the bottom of the 6th with River Ridge leading the Colonels 3-0. Slow curveball from Williams, missed outside. Ian Andrews, the second baseman, waits on deck. Next pitch from Williams. Missed for a ball. So Bragg, the left-handed hitter, will step back in, and the next one misses low. So the count has run to 3-1 as Williams delivers, and it's right through there for a called strike 2. These two teams play again tomorrow at Cass. 5:55 start. We'll have pregame on Play on Sports at 5:35. Next pitch is fouled back over the screen. Game 3 will be back here on Friday as these two continue to battle in 7 Quad A South play. Fastball from Williams, fouled again over the screen. Pickens and Gilmer playing one another in the other sub-region series this week. Cedartown, who is at 6-3 on the year in the region, has the bye week in region play. They've got a couple of non-region games scheduled for Friday and Saturday as Bragg takes strike 3. Brings up Ian Andrews, the second baseman. Looking for his first hit in this one, takes a strike. He reached on an error, one of those bunt plays we talked about that happened in the second inning, and then he flied out, popping out to the shortstop. Next one is hit up in the air. Ayers is calling for it. He makes the catch, and that is out number 3. So a little pop fly out there to the shortstop back behind the second base bag will be the third out of the inning. River Ridge goes quietly in their half of the 6th, and we'll go to the final inning. And the Colonels' final chance to get to Jackson Weig here in the 7th. We'll move to the 7th with River Ridge leading it 3-0.
Now when the sun come up, I'll be there to say what up in the morning. Perfectly at peace, so I move along a bit higher. I'll be up a bit away, cause they gon' judge me anyway. So whatever, I'll be up a bit away.
Crack open a can of new Kickstart by Mountain Dew. The perfect mix of dew, real fruit juice, and just the right amount of kick. Kickstart your day.
Jackson Weig takes the mound for the top of the 7th for the River Ridge Knights. He's been their ace all year, and he's done very well today against the Colonels, shutting them out through 6 innings. Scattering 4 hits. He's walked 3, struck out 4. Cass at the bottom of their order, 7, 8, and 9. Hunter Southern, Hunter Bennett, and Chris Morton to face Weig here in the top of the 7th. So Southern steps in. He walked in his first at-bat, struck out swinging his second time up. Looks at a strike on the first pitch from Weig. Weig, who has worked quickly, missed high with that one. River Ridge fans thought that was a strike. Weig with only 77 pitches at this point in the top of the 7th. That's a good pitch count. Southern fouls that one back into the glove of Zach Cable. So a 1-2 pitch coming up from the Knights left-hander. And it's fouled away back over the screen. Cass baseball presented by Mountain Dew. Colonels trailing 3-0 as they bat here in the top of the 7th. Game 1 of a 3-game series with the River Ridge Knights. Curveball is in there for strike 3. It was a beauty. So that'll bring up Hunter Bennett, who singled to center field his last time up. He flied out to center in his first at bat. Chris Morton waits on deck. First pitch from Weig is swung on and missed. And the next one is popped up. Elijah Bragg is underneath it, and he makes the catch for out number 2. So the Colonels are down to their final out here in the 7th, and it's their 9-hitter, Chris Morton. So the Cass sophomore right fielder steps in to face Jackson Weig with 2 outs in the 7th, and the first pitch misses low. And Zach Cable, the catcher, wants to talk with his pitcher. Morton takes a deep breath and steps back in. Wind and delivery from Weig is in there for a strike at the knees. So a 1-1 delivery from Jackson Weig is fouled away at the plate, and the Colonels are down to their final strike. If Morton could reach the top of the order, and Brandon Etheridge waits on deck. So Morton steps back in. Weig takes his sign, and his 1-2 delivery is hit on the ground out towards second. Fielded out there by Ian Andrews. He throws across for out number 3, and River Ridge takes game 1 of this series by a final score of 3-0. So game 2 will be tomorrow at Cass, as the Colonels will try to battle back to win this series and stay alive in the chase to win the 7 Quad A South Subregion title. They'll have to win the next 2 in the series against River Ridge and then take at least 2 out of 3 from Cedartown to have a chance to do that. So they're not dead in the water yet. But this one does hurt tonight as River Ridge takes the first game of the series by a score of 3-0. We'll take a timeout, and we'll be back to wrap things up here right after these messages.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you got anything from me, it's to find your thing and do you. Because we all know it's not what you do, it's how you do. And this is how we do.
Game 1 of this series taken by the River Ridge Knights, who moved to 4-3 in Subregion 7 Quad A South. The Colonels now fall to 4-3 themselves. Both teams now will trail Cedartown, who is at 6-3 and idle in Subregion play this week. So the final 2 games of this series are extremely important for both of these teams as they battle to try to take the sub-region crown in 7 Quad A South. River Ridge taking this first game of a 3-game series by a score of 3-0 tonight here at River Ridge High School. Jackson Weig with the win for River Ridge goes the distance, scattered 4 hits. He walked 3 and struck out 5. Dylan Williams takes the tough loss. He only allowed 3 hits, 3 runs. None of them were earned. And he had 8 strikeouts in the contest in the tough luck loss. Taking a look, River Ridge with all 3 runs in the second inning. The only hits for the Colonels came from Dylan Williams, Sam Russell, Hunter Bennett, and Chris Morton tonight, as the Colonels only managed 4 hits. They did walk 3 times. River Ridge with only 3 hits, and Will Redding had 2 of those. Zach Cable had the other base hit for the Knights, who have evened their record with the Colonels at 4-3, as the 2 teams, I guess, will be tied for second place going into tomorrow night's game. 1 game now behind Cedartown, who is at 6-3 and idle for the week in sub-region play. So we thank you for joining us tonight for Game 1 of this series. We'll have Game 2 tomorrow. Pregame will start at 5:35. First pitch for the game tomorrow night. We need you out at the park to support the Colonels. First pitch will be at 5:55 as Cass will host River Ridge. The game was originally scheduled for Thursday, but now moved up to Wednesday with some imminent weather moving in on Thursday, late Wednesday, and overnight into Thursday. So they moved the game up a day to try to make sure they get it in this week. And then Game 3 will be back here at River Ridge on Friday. Again, we thank you for joining us. We thank you, sponsors. Mountain Dew, the anchor sponsor for Cass Baseball during this 2013 season. Our Pepsi distributor helping bring these contests. Also, WYXC Radio and Liberty Tax Service, part of our sponsorship of Cass Baseball 2013 on Play On Sports. That's going to wrap it up for tonight. Again, River Ridge wins this one by a score of 3-0. Good evening, everyone. $57,893. Thank you.